Because we're going to take you straight to Westminster, where we're about to hear the result in the final ballot of Conservative MPs in the race to become the next UK Prime Minister. 3 candidates remain. That will become 2 in the next few moments. They will then campaign for the next month before the wider party membership vote on a new leader. Rishi Sunak, Liz Truss and Penny Mordaunt, the 3 candidates, who though will be eliminated in the next few minutes. This is the committee room. Sir Graham Brady, as he has done in the previous rounds of voting, due to read out the numbers in this committee room. You can see it is absolutely packed. It's a frenzied last 24 hours as the candidates look to get the support of their colleagues. Here he is. Let's put the microphones up and hear this final result of this 5th ballot from Sir Graham Brady.
It's on blue paper. As returning officer, I can give you the results of the ballot. 357 votes were cast out of a possible 358. There were 2 spoiled ballot papers. The numbers of votes cast for each candidate is as follows. Mordaunt, 105. Sunak, 137. Truss, 113. Therefore, Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss will be the candidates going forward to a final ballot of Conservative Party members. The ballot will close on the 2nd of September, and I will announce the results at 12:30 p.m. on Monday, the 5th of September. Thank you very much.
Well, there it is, as we've seen in all of the rounds, absolutely straight to the point from Sir Graham Brady. Penny Mordaunt out, so the final 2 candidates will be Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss. They are the 2 candidates that go to the wider Conservative electorate. Straight to our UK political correspondent, Rob Watson, who was listening to that. Rob, your headline thought?
Well, that Penny Mordaunt was pipped at the last minute, but we now know that it's a competition between Rishi Sunak, Chief Finance Minister, Liz Truss, Foreign Secretary. My initial quick thoughts are, it's important to remember that both of them call themselves Thatcherites. You know, one talks about the kind of rancour of the campaign, but both of them ideologically would say they're on the same page in terms of a smaller state and lower taxes. The difference between them is when you should start doing that. Rishi Sunak takes the view that you should balance the books first, so that's going to be the dispute between them. But I don't think anyone should be in any doubt. These people are both on the right of the party. They're both these days enthusiastic Brexiteers. They're anti-EU. The other thought that I have is that whoever of the 2 of them wins, it's remarkable how little we really know about them, Matthew, and that is, if you think about it, their rise has been so enormous. So what they think about all sorts of range of issues, social issues, we really do know very little. Most of what we know about them has been the sort of slogans from their campaign and their media appearances, relatively brief ones, over the last 3 years. So it's going to be a fascinating few weeks as the Conservative Party and the rest of the country gets to know them.
Steve, Rob, rather, I'm going to ask you just another quick question about procedure, what happens now. But before I do that, I just want to run through the figures again. Penny Mordaunt, 105 votes. Rishi Sunak, 137. And Liz Truss, you can see there in the pictures, 113. And that's why Penny Mordaunt has been eliminated in the last few moments. Rob, just briefly tell us what happens next.
So what happens next is that the membership of the Conservative Party grassroots, about 160,000 of them, they will be getting postal ballots. I think they'll also be able to vote electronically. And essentially between now and, as Sir Graham Brady said, September the 2nd, there'll be a sort of series of hustings. The 2 of them, Rishi Sunak and Liz Truss, will traipse around the country trying to get the votes of these activists. And there will, of course, be televised debates, one of them on the BBC next Monday, I believe.
Rob Watson there at Westminster. We'll let you get away and get reaction, but thanks very much for that headline thought. Let's talk now to the political columnist Steve Richards, who joins us live on the programme. Steve, your snapshot view on what we've just heard.
Well, the first observation is that for all the talk about an appetite for change and a change candidate, in inverted commas, however vaguely defined, in the end, the 2 who have gone through to the final round are Boris Johnson's 2 most senior ministers for much of his regime, his former Chancellor Rishi Sunak and his still Foreign Secretary Liz Truss. So that's the first thing. The second thing is this, that Rob is absolutely right. This is a battle rooted on the right of the Conservative Party. But there is a big difference between the two. In a way, Sunak is the more orthodox Thatcherite figure, saying yes to tax cuts, but only when they can be paid for. Liz Truss is closer to the sort of 1980s Ronald Reagan approach of let the debt carry the burden of the tax cuts and let's get on with the tax cuts. And that is quite a big divide between the two. And party members polling at this very early phase suggests that the Truss view is more popular on this issue than the Sunak one.
Yes, I was going to say exactly that no fork in the road now when it comes to change, because, of course, these two people that we see on our screen at the moment as we talk, Steve, were in Boris Johnson's cabinet for such a long while. And, of course, Liz Truss still there. But the big fork in the road now is the offering on tax, and all the indication from the activists, the wider Conservative electorate, is that they are tilting towards the sort of tax cuts that Liz Truss is offering.
Yeah, and she has been absolutely clear. Tax cuts from day one of my premiership. So there's no getting away from it when she faces what Sunak would say is the reality. He describes this as sort of fantasy economics. She will have to do it. Which means that borrowing will go up. And there's a big debate, and will be, between the two of them, whether it will trigger any growth at all. Sunak will argue that it's inflationary. So a door will open on what is normally behind the scenes discussions within a cabinet. And we've already seen that a bit. He's, in televised debates, accused Liz Truss, Sunak, of a kind of fantasy, fairy tale economics, he called it. And she has said that he has been far too complacent in responding to the various challenges of the UK economy and should have done tax cuts long ago. So we're going to see more of this, an opening up of this debate. But it is a narrow one. It's between two people who now back this hard Brexit with enthusiasm, even though Liz Truss was a Remainer, and who both theoretically back a smaller state.
And Steve, on that, how nasty could it get? Because Penny Mordaunt would say that she's the victim of attacks over the last week or so. How nasty is it likely to get in the coming weeks, do you think?
Penny Mordaunt was bashed around by some of the other candidates, by some newspapers. The Daily Mail is an enthusiastic supporter of Liz Truss. They bashed Penny Mordaunt around. I think they will bash Rishi Sunak around. And a lot of Tory party members vote early. So even though this campaign, this second round, will go on for the whole of a long, hot August, quite a lot of the votes will be cast quickly. So Sunak, who starts behind according to the polls, even though he came top of the MP's ballot, needs to move very, very fast and to work out how to deal with some of the attacks that are going to come his way.